Presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint. And brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, and by Credit Union of Ohio on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with Coach Jake Diebler and former Ohio State captain Ron Stokes, here's the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
And thanks for joining us for our weekly show as Ohio State is back home after 2 consecutive on the road. A win at Penn State, and yesterday, well, everybody knows what happened yesterday at Illinois. But, Jake, when you think about that game, certainly some good things, especially the way your team played in the first half.
You know, I thought for about 30 minutes we played well. And 30 minutes isn't enough, right, on the road against a really good team in a great environment. But I thought we did some really good things. You know, we didn't make enough shots down the stretch. I think we ended maybe 3 for 17, ended the game. Some of that was shot selection, certainly. Some of it was we missed some, you know, that we typically make. But, you know, and then I thought our defense just didn't quite hold on and was good enough there at the kind of the second half of the second half. But some good things to take from it. Certainly disappointed, you know, in the result, because it was a great opportunity for us to get a quad 1 win. But, you know, life in the Big Ten, you got another opportunity coming up here real quick.
Coach, in your preparation for this game, their star center, Ivisic, question mark whether he was going to play or not. How does that impact that?
Yeah, well, I think there were a lot of question marks. Him for them, Sean for us. They added one, we subtracted one. That certainly wasn't the way we would have liked to draw it up, Ron. But, you know, he's a really good player. He changes the dynamic of their team, gives them allows them to play 2 bigs, which they hadn't really for a significant stretch since he had been out. So, and they even went at times with no bigs for a lot of the last few games. So, yeah, it was, you know, we were kind of preparing for all of the things, you know, which, you know, presents challenges certainly. But, you know, I think for us, him being in there certainly was a positive for him. For us, missing Sean, and listen, Sean deserves a ton of credit. He tried everything he could to get back to play. He just, you know, couldn't quite get there. And I think it impacted the rebounding game and the physicality and you know, our ability to protect the paint a little bit.
There were some times where you played smaller also. Were there some advantages that can kind of be gained from that?
Yeah, I think there can be. It allows you to do some different things defensively and then offensively, you know, can give you versatility, make you harder to guard. So it was, you know, that game in particular, there was a lot of kind of different lineup kind of matchups happening from both sides. And, you know, it's like those games are fun, you know, because you got to really kind of reminds me. That used to always be the case when you play against like Mike White when I was back in the SEC. Like you'd be getting matchups and switching and just all this stuff. So those games can be fun at times, kind of because of the strategy that goes into it. But you know, I think again for the most part we did some really good things. You know, to be up 11 in the second half in that environment against that quality of team, you got to be doing something right.
You know, Paul and I were talking about this before the game. Like when you look at Illinois' record, yes, they have some losses, but you discount that because they have not had their full arsenal their entire year. But one of the things that's really good about them is number 1 team in the country in rebounding. Again, when you're going against a team like that, you have to make emphasis not only just in your front line, but your guards and rebounding so that is not much of a deficit.
Yeah, you know, we had a couple costly ones in the second half, Ron, from their guards, where, you know, our guards had done a pretty good job of keeping their perimeter players off the glass. And there were a couple costly ones there in the second half. But, I you know, Johnson for them was really impressive. Yeah. Really impressive. I mean, that was really the difference in the rebounding was his, and he wedged us from the baseline, just worked us out, and you know, we weren't quite like whether it was a leverage thing at times or just a size advantage. You know, we just weren't physical enough with him, and we didn't anticipate well enough. I thought on a couple possessions. Some of them, listen, he's really good. It's a skill for him. Right.
You sure he's a freshman?
Right.
He wasn't built like
a
one.
Freshman.
Oh my goodness.
No, he didn't. He wasn't built like one, but he was really impactful. And I think, but outside of that, you look. I don't know that anybody else for them had more than one offensive rebound. And really for the game, they end with 10 or 11, right? I think 11. Yeah, 11 offensive rebounds. So, did some good things, at time. But I thought the one that Gibbs Lahorn had was a big one.
Yeah.
That was a big one. And we got caught ball watching on that one.
Despite that yesterday, has the way your guards rebounded been a good trend?
It's been better, yeah. You've seen Bruce Thornton with, at least 5. I think a couple games ago, John Mobley had it, I believe at Penn State. Micah Parrish has been pretty consistent for us in that regard. But even when like Quez or some of these guys can get 2 or 3, and you collectively see our guards with maybe 10 to 12, it's a good thing, and we're improving in that.
When you look at the fact that you only turned the ball over at your team 5 times, what really hurts is that a couple of the turnovers were just untimely.
Yeah.
The one where Devin lost control at the top of the key, great defensive play, and then it led to the score for them, and it just changed the momentum there.
Yeah, a couple timely ones. It's 2 games in a row we've been better at taking care of the ball against teams that really are disruptive at times. This game was unique because they play a style that really puts you in 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 in ball screen situations. So there's not they really prevent a lot of opportunity for driving kicks, and so you really I thought for us part of our issue offensively was we didn't make them kind of guard longer in the clock. Where the shot we took, we probably could have gotten 10 seconds later, but we needed to take those 10 seconds to try to get something better.
Yep.
And that was the disappointing thing. And we had talked about that going into the game, and I felt like we didn't adjust specifically in the second half well enough to that, and that's why our assist numbers were so low too. It's part of their design, but I thought we played into it too much there in the second half.
From our Union Home Mortgage inbox list of questions, Jamie and Pickerington asking about Devin Royal's big first half. Did Illinois make some adjustments to Devin in the second half?
Yeah, they did. I think they crowded him certainly a little bit more, and didn't give him as much space as he had in the first half, and then. I think they also made him really work on the defensive end, and I think part of it was trying to get him in foul trouble, maybe impact him on that side, make him work, because they went at him a lot on the other side too. And sometimes that can wear you down, and part of your defense is to maybe tire someone out right on the other side. So, but I thought Devin played with great confidence offensively. His free throw shooting has been tremendous. Lately, he's got to continue to take care of the ball better, but he's starting to embrace remaining true to what makes him a great player, but expanding what he can do out there, and I thought it was on full display last
such as a 3-point shot.
Yeah, and he works hard at it. And the biggest thing for me, and he and I talk about it, is shoot them, but shoot the right ones. Like, you're a good player, you don't have to settle for threes. But, man, when you got your rhythm and you got your good base, absolutely, shoot it.
Yeah, when you look at your team and you are not afraid to go deep in your bench, but limit it because you didn't have Sean Stewart in the basketball game, and you just look at these minutes. Bruce Thornton, 38, Devin Royal, 35, John Mobley Jr., 34, and the most minutes by any player for Illinois was 32. So clearly you had to expend more energy on your team. You talked about Devin Royal, they're making him work on both ends. It had to take its toll at some point.
Yeah, in 3 games in 7 days, Ron, I think it's. Listen, I think we were tough enough. I think our conditioning's good enough. Certainly looking back, but I think, and this is part of the thing too, is we need some guys that when they go in there, they got to perform a little better too, and give us a little, because. In a game like that, when you look at plus minus and things, and it's certainly you can't blame one player for their plus minus, right, in one game. But we needed some guys to, I think, give us a little bit more when they come in. And Colin White hadn't really been able to practice, and we kind of threw him out there because he finally had got to a place where he was available. And he's a guy, when he gets back to practicing, I think will be really helpful. Quez has done some good things, but I think he's got it. We've seen him have another level that he can play at, and we need him to. And been challenging Evan to be consistent. Rough first half, good second half. Now a couple games in a row. We need that. The whole game. So I think as we can get some more consistency across the board, top to bottom, and it gives you right? I think an ability to maybe give some guys a little bit longer rest. But Sean's absence, hurt us from a minutes perspective, because this was a game with Sean. You can play Sean and Aaron together when they got their two big guys out there. And you can do some things like that I felt like was it was a kind of unfortunate for us.
If you have a question for Coach Diebler, you can submit it to our Union Home Mortgage inbox at ohiostatebuckeyes.com and click on Coach's Show inbox, Union Home Mortgage. Learn about their 1% down payment program at uhm.com and MLS number 2229. More of today's show presented by Roosters coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready?
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
We can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey basketball fans, Credit Union of Ohio wants to help you score more by making life more affordable. It's time to play with a team that helps you win every day. Credit Union of Ohio's loan rates have dropped to provide affordable financing for the things you want and need. It's time to reevaluate your current loans and consider refinancing with a team that cares about you. Check out current specials and get started scoring more money at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Growing up in the family business, I've seen firsthand the joy and love that comes with finding the perfect engagement ring. For over 77 years, our family's been dedicated to providing the best quality, unmatched selection, and the guaranteed best price. From timeless classics to custom designs, we have the perfect ring for every love story. Let our family help you celebrate the moments that mean the most. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
Your home for Ohio State Athletics, The Fan. You're listening to the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back to our show with Ohio State head coach Jake Diebler. Time for our Elk and Elk injury report, and maybe it's significant to discuss. It's not so much injury anymore, and every team seems to deal with it, but it's the illness factor that you have to kind of work around, isn't it, Jake?
Yeah. Injuries, illness, it always seems to be something. But, I think you're seeing, it's certainly not exclusive to us. You're seeing it, right? Illinois certainly just came off of having someone deal with illness. It impacted us last game with Sean, and, it's kind of one day at a time to figure out who you got available.
Our injury report brought to you by Elk and Elk. Serious fans for Ohio State Athletics, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO, go Bucks. But also this time of year, too, you have to deal with all of the bumps and bruises that come with a season that takes you into the early stages of February, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I think, listen, it's this time of year, you're never really going to be at 100%, right? Like even if you're available, Ron, you remember playing, like you're available, you're not 100%. You're just the grind of the season. We have unbelievable, I've said this over and over, the resources at Ohio State, I think, are the absolute best. Performance team, help guys be available, help you recover, all of the things that go into being available and healthy. We're fighting for that. Our guys care. They want, like, trust me, they're working. I mean, it's an off day, and we got guys in there right now, getting rehab and recovery. So, but it's literally a day-to-day thing, figuring out who you're going to have at practice or the game from at this time of year.
Yeah, Coach, I want to go back to the question that Jamie gave us from Pickerington regarding Devin Rowe's first half and the adjustments that potentially Illinois has made. But I just think I look at his numbers, and it just speaks to how hard this young man has worked on his game to expand it. 8 of 12 from the field, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, 3 rebounds, 19 points. That's like a whole game. He did that in one half. Just talk about some of the things he did so special to have that type of success in 20 minutes.
Well, I thought the big thing was it's hard to say this, right, because of those numbers, but he just kind of let the game come to him. And you'd say, well, man, how can you say that with those type of numbers? He went and he was aggressive, but he didn't do anything that wasn't available. Part of their game plan was, to essentially dare him on the perimeter and play off of him and then crowd him in the paint. And I thought he played with great poise. Like, the drive he had to start the game was really good. The first three shot was a confident shot. He's been, like I said, really, really good from the free throw line lately. And, really the only kind of complaint you could have is just the turnovers.
At 5.
And some of them are, I thought a couple of them, he got fouled, or at least one of them I know for sure he did, because I watched it from about 5 times. But I think, listen, I think he's improving. He's worked so hard. He's bought into kind of what we've asked him to do, and he's embraced. This team needs him to score and be aggressive, and he's embraced it, and he's earned it. I think that's the best thing about Devin is he's earned it.
The thing about the fouls, and then I chuckle because I remember my freshman year going to Bloomington, and the game, I found this out real early, that the game just called differently on the road. Right? You're like, I just got hammered. And you didn't call that a foul? I don't get it. But I know what you're talking about. Paul and I were just scratching our head. Like I think it was in the second half. Quez Glover went to the basket, and he was hit hard. Impacted his ability to get the ball to the rim, and he doesn't get the call. It's just can be frustrating at times.
Yeah, I think it's important. You got to acknowledge your bias, right? First, when you're watching, you got to at least acknowledge. You got to at least acknowledge your own bias. I try to remind myself of that. But I think what you want is consistency, and I think for the most part, right, like officiating is mostly good. Yep. I believe that, and I know, for our league, they've really worked on trying to raise the level, and but I also feel like there are times where make no mistake, we got to foul less. We do. We have some mental lapses where we're fouling really when we shouldn't be, and it's whether we're out of position or we're just like those kind of 3 to 4 plays we got to get rid of. But if we're going to call kind of body hand checks, like those need to be rewarded on both. You just want consistency, right? Like that's all you want, because now if we would have shot 43s, like okay, I understand that maybe there aren't the same amount of opportunities, but I felt like we were aggressive to the rim. We were aggressive off ball screens, and felt like we could have shot a few more free throws. But again, you gotta recognize your own bias when you say that first and foremost.
Very well put. Jerry in Grandview, the next of our Union Home Mortgage inbox questions. What kinds of encouragement do you give players during timeouts in situations like the back end of the second half where it seemed like nothing was just going in the basket?
Yeah, well, it's there's certainly a mental kind of game that you're trying to coach and manage, and there were technical things in that stretch where we needed to be better. We just, again, I felt like we settled, a handful of possessions, took too many non-paint touch twos this game. Give Illinois credit, it's part of their design, but we could have, I guess my point to our guys, we could have got that shot again later. We needed to work to try to get something different first. But you also like, hey, if it's a shot we practice and you know, a shot that like is a good look for us, like I want our guys to be confident, be aggressive. And I think for us, for the most part, we had some decent looks, but there were too many possessions the last 10 minutes of the game that weren't high enough quality. And that's ultimately that was why we were 3 for, I think, 17 down the stretch.
You know, one of the things that I always love about my time as a player is the relationship that I had with my head coach, and I just really enjoy seeing you interact, especially with the backcourt guys and Bruce Thornton and John Mobley Jr. It was a tough game for John Mobley Jr.
Yeah.
And a lot of it had to do with how aggressively Illinois was defending him. What were some of the major things you tried to teach or coach him during that tough stretch for him?
Yeah, so and I've told you this, like I love coaching him. He is fun to coach, and you know, you can coach him hard.
Yep.
I think that's one of the things I love about him. And we talked throughout the course of the game. Hey, like it's got to be on your terms. You can't, like, you're getting sped up. Get to a hostage position. You know, for us, we call it hostage, where you kind of hold the guard off, let the big get downhill, get a little more separation between you and your screener to really put the screener's defender in a bind. You know, we were just kind of letting them off the hook and taking rushed. Some of those twos were rushed. We talked about slowing down a little bit, and then also, like, you know, kind of passing up some of those and trying to get to something different. So, you know, he was aggressive. I think he and I have talked since the game. He's taken ownership over that, and you know, I think it's part of being a talented young player is you're going to have moments of games where, you know, you're still, like, he's still growing. He played, you know, 30-some minutes last night on the road on CBS on Sunday in a big-time Big Ten game as a freshman, and, you know, did some good things. But I thought for him, I told him too, I thought for the first time in a while his offense affected his defense. He had been, I think his defense has been really good lately.
Is that part of, like, dwelling on a mistake and letting it carry to the other side of the court?
A little bit, yeah. And certainly wasn't exclusive to him. Right. You know, like, happens to a lot of players, but we talk a lot about you got to move on quickly.
Right.
And so that's some of the stuff, the dialogue he and I were having too. Is like, hey, no, you got to move on. Like, you got to get to the next. Don't let it affect the next one. That's over with. But sometimes it was like, hey, you got to get, you know, you're allowing them to dictate what you do. Like, you're too good for that. You got to, like, it's got to be on your terms. So we had great dialogue. We talked after the game, and, you know, it was a great learning experience for him.
The Roosters Foundation helps raise over $1 million each year for local charities and organizations and is the official wing sponsor of your Ohio State Buckeyes. The Roosters Foundation is donating $25 for every foul shot the Buckeyes make at home this season to BAM, Beyond Ability Matters. BAM provides kids and young adults with neurological disabilities the opportunity to live their best lives. More with Coach Diebler when we continue on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at SafeLight.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace. Donato's is dancing into 2025 with a New Year's deal that's too good to miss. All January long, get 25% off everything you order online. That's 25% off Donato's famous thin crust pizzas, oven-baked subs, fresh salads, wings, desserts, all your Donato's favorites. So get 2025 started with 25% off your online order now and throughout January using promo code 2025. Order with the app or at Donatos.com.
Every game, every season, Buckeye Nation comes together to support Ohio State basketball. The Buckeyes make their fans proud by giving it their all on the court. Their hard work, determination, and resilience embody what our state is all about. Every client, every day, Elk & Elk works tirelessly to support the great people of Ohio. A consistent winner in the courtroom, we get injury victims the compensation they deserve. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Giant Eagle is teaming up with Cheez-It, Pringles, and Coca-Cola to give one lucky Buckeye fan a VIP basketball experience. Go to ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Giant Eagle to enter for a chance to win 4 tickets with parking to the March 4th home finale against Nebraska, a Buckeye prize pack, a $200 Giant Eagle gift card, and a trip to the head coach's radio show. Enter today at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Giant Eagle for a chance to win. Brought to you by Giant Eagle, Cheez-It, Pringles, and Coca-Cola. Go Bucks!
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Union Home Mortgage is the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at UHM.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. Did everybody know it's Ron Stokes' birthday?
No.
Okay, no. Stop that. Oh, it's not my birthday.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's in February.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's this February. It's coming
later,
up.
It's later.
It's coming
later.
up, yeah. I couldn't resist. We've talked so much about the Illinois game yesterday, Jake. Let's go back to the Penn State game at Rec Hall, and certainly that was a game that kind of had a little bit of a different feel to it, but it was a game in which your team seemingly was able to do a really good job of imposing your will on Penn State.
Well, I thought we rebounded really well, and that was it was a game against a team who really can turn you over a lot with a lot of steals. Ace Baldwin, well-decorated individual defender, and for us to only have 10 turnovers and them have 1 steal, I thought that was part of it. But we were really connected, both sides of the ball, rebounded well, in a fun environment, kind of old school, little retro feel. They had a great crowd, but really we didn't let the crowd get into it. I thought that was part of it. We just kind of stayed steady, and when they came out the second half, we answered, and then we stayed again steady the rest of the game. It was a fun game.
Coach, just want to talk about the little things of how you have been able to get your guys to buy into the defense like this. I was just so very impressed with your team against Iowa, and then also against Penn State. Then, of course, against Illinois at times. 3 straight games, you basically took the opposing team's top scorer and knocked them down a few points below their average in the game. Just talk about how you've gotten your team to play to this level right now.
Yeah, well, I think part of it is, Ron, we're getting better, right? We're getting more comfortable in our system. We're getting more experience. So I don't want to minimize that part because I think that's part of it. But I think also, as we've kind of gotten more comfortable with our foundation, it then allows you to scheme a little bit more.
Okay.
So it's part of being, kind of a new system is you get take some time to build the foundation. Once you build the foundation, now you get to be a little creative in some games and maybe take some guys out. And some of it too is like it's almost like the Bill Belichick model. Like you're not going to let the other team's best player beat you.
Right.
Now, some games present different challenges where you might have 3 best players, and right. Not 1. But we've certainly, I think we've been dialed in, and ultimately our connection and communication has improved, and that's why we're getting some of the defensive results we're getting.
There were some guys on those rosters that are going to be first-round picks. This Jakachonis, he's 2 for 8. This guy's been lighting up the entire country.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, he's a really good player, probably going to be a lottery pick. And, I think, we were able to give him some different looks and put some ball pressure on him when he had it, and now they had some other guys step up. I think Will Riley's going to be You know, he's going to be a really good pro. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, they can all put their name in a hat, right? This spring.
And he's one we talked about and game planned, and we told our guys, like, he's an X factor.
Yeah.
And you know, he was really good. But I think, there's some of it is right. It's an individual effort and attention to detail that goes into it. But then a lot of times with these really talented players, it really takes everybody to be connected to hold them down.
On the subject of defense and trying to put a plan together, we see it during some of the shoot-arounds and the practices. If you would, the chance to blow the horn of the coaching staff, how they go about communicating to the players the defense that needs to be played.
Yeah, well, I think first off, you know, you look at the experience on our staff, and I couldn't be happier with year one, you know, the staff we've been able to put together. I think the connection, the experience, all of it is just, it's been great. And they've been able to build some really good relationships with guys on our team in a short amount of time, which is important too. But for us, I think it's a very fine line of finding the balance of, you know, covering everything you need to cover, but not giving your players too much information to where it almost makes them hesitant because they're overthinking. And some guys, you know, like maybe a Bruce Thornton who's been in college for a significant amount of time, can handle more information than maybe some other guys. And so there's team communication, right, what we're covering on the floor, and then there's also some individual conversations in film being had off the court to help guys, you know, maybe that fits them. But I think what I've been most pleased with is the consistent growth of our collective unit. And I think our staff's played a significant role in that.
We'll go back to our Union Home Mortgage inbox list of questions. Scott in Van Wert, and this goes back to what we were talking about. What were your overall thoughts of the experience of playing in Rec Hall last Thursday at Penn State? And for those that don't know, Rec Hall is the old arena where Penn State used to play before their existing arena, and they occasionally go back and play there.
It was fun. It felt like, you know, it felt old school in a sense because it was a little bit smaller, roof a little bit lower, right, and it was just a little more compact. And, you know, I thought that there was a great energy and buzz in the building. Again, I felt like we were able to kind of prevent them from really taking it to another level. But I thought it was fun. We really, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I anticipated, you know, we just assumed them playing in that environment, they were going to be even better than they would have been in their main environment. Mm-hmm. And thought it was a great idea by them. I know we've done that in the past. And I think it's a great idea. You know, there's things like that when you can get creative for a game with things like that, I think it's awesome. It's anything you maybe give a unique experience to fans, give some fans who maybe saw games back in the day there a chance to go back and revisit. I think that's really cool, and give, you know, Penn State and their athletic department a ton of credit for doing that. It was fun.
Yeah, playing in a very competitive Big Ten conference.
Did you play in there, Ron?
No, I did not. Penn State was not part of the conference,
okay.
And we did not play them during my 4-year time frame at Ohio State. But when looking at this Big Ten, it's so competitive. You know, I talk about the talented guards, but now you're going to face another team with a couple of bigs that can get it done. Two guys that are almost averaging a double-double, and Derek Queen and Julian Reese. How troublesome that is in trying to take care of both of those guys.
Yeah, that's very troublesome and stressful.
Thanks for bringing it up, huh?
No, I think what makes them, you know, really unique right now is they're shooting the ball really well from the perimeter. Yeah. Gillespie's he is a really good player, and you know, he can certainly create for himself, but also get other guys going at a high level. But you know, Queen's versatility, I think, has been impressive for a young player. And, you know, Reese is really he's been pretty consistent this year, but I think even more lately you're seeing some bigger offensive outputs from him. And you almost like we didn't forget, but I think some people might have forgot, like, just how impactful he was last year.
Yeah, he was.
Right? So, yeah, those three guys, starts with those three, but, you know, Rice has been really good for him. I mean, they got 5 guys, you know, in double figures, and all 5 of them are capable of having a big offensive night. But the rebounding is going to be critical this game, that for sure. And then Gillespie's a guy we got to do a really good job guarding, because I think he just makes so much happen for him.
And you touched on how good they've been playing of late. They won 6 of 7, but the one loss was in overtime.
Yeah, they've been playing really well. Coach Willard has them playing at a high level right now, and they're coming off a long stretch here of time to prepare for the Buckeyes. So we expect to see the very best when they come here on Thursday.
We'll talk more with Coach Diebler when we continue with our weekly show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
Where more than 1,700 scientists are working on new treatments and new hope for every form of cancer.
You're making the choice to have the most advanced treatments, many of which were developed right here.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Union Home Mortgage knows Buckeye fans never leave Ohio State behind. We've helped millions of first-time home buyers get into their dream home through our 1% down payment program. Put as little as 1% down, and UHM tosses in up to 2% on the house. Learn more at UHM.com or call 877-846-4968. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com. For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership just got even better. Now you can choose from Disney Plus with ads, Hulu with ads, or ESPN Plus on us when you sign up. Plus, enjoy unlimited free delivery, double fuel points, exclusive offers, and free items. Sign up for a Boost membership today. It's an easier way to save, including new streaming options to relax with while we deliver your groceries. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Your home for Buckeye basketball. This is the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
The Foundation is operating a 50-50 raffle at each Ohio State home men's basketball game this season, with proceeds supporting community-based NIL opportunities and The Foundation charities. For more information on how you can participate, visit The Foundation social media channels. And welcome back to Ohio State's Coaches Show with Jake Diebler, presented by Roosters. Buckeyes will be at home on Thursday, entertaining Maryland, a team that Ohio State has seen already this year. That was in College Park. But, Jake, as we talked about Maryland prior to the last break, when you think about it, your team certainly is playing at a different level and at a different result than what they were when you saw Maryland the first time.
Yeah, well, I think, again, just our lineup's different, right? Like, that's part of it, and we've really taken some significant steps, from a growth standpoint, both offensively and defensively. And I like where we're at. We haven't certainly gotten to our ceiling yet. We got to keep striving for that, but we're playing some really, really good stretches against some high quality opponents, and we're gonna need all of that certainly come Thursday night.
Coach, when you talk about some of your guys, Micah Parrish, you really got on your upperclassmen to perform. I know he struggled a little bit at times defensively. Were some of the things that you communicated with him after the game to improve upon for the next?
Yeah, well, I think, listen, we've seen now, right, what he's capable of, and so have other teams. Like, that's the other part. Yeah. You know, now that he's played like he's had these last few games, like Illinois really wasn't leaving him, you know, and they made every time he caught it, they made it tough. They limited some of his catches, and you know, he's got to be able to figure out how to operate. Now we got to get him the ball a little bit more. I felt like, you know, we need to get him some touches a little bit more there in the second half. He had some good looks in the first half, forced a couple tough ones, but the biggest thing with him right now is foul trouble.
Yeah.
You know, and I think with him, what getting him to understand is like, man, you can't have some of those fouls are preventable.
Right.
Like, there's no reason to foul in a couple of those areas. And I thought what happened, his foul trouble impacted his defense last game, and it made him a little hesitant and maybe timid on the ball where really he's been impactful. So, listen, he's played well. He's earned the attention he got last game. Now he's got to adjust and get back to playing at the level he's capable of, because we need him to.
I'm sure the Illinois looked at his tape against Purdue.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can look at Purdue. Really, these last few games, Ron, he's been good. Yeah, he's been good. So we got to get back to that version, and I no reason to believe he won't.
Is that where, when you've got a guy that's played so much basketball like Micah Parrish, that he still has to embrace approaching it like a freshman would, that there's still so much to learn and so much to adjust to? Or is it maybe in a different way?
Yeah, well, I think the big thing is, you know, remembering for him, you know, giving him some grace, new system, right? And we've seen him kind of, as he's gotten more comfortable, he's played, you know, at an even higher level. But, you know, I think for him, it's like, hey, we need you to play like an upperclassman, you know, because we don't have a lot of them. And, you know, I felt like last game, you know, specifically the fouls, you know, impacted him too much for an older guy. And I don't think that'll be a problem moving forward. You know, he'll handle that well, and I anticipate him getting right back on track, because he's really had a lot of momentum. And you know, when he plays well, we play well. You know, I think he's an important piece. So we'll certainly help him, you know, do our part to kind of help him with some of that. But yeah, I mean, he's an older guy. He's been through a lot of battles. And his experience is important for us. His leadership's been better, like all that stuff. And, you know, he didn't have his best day. It happens. Illinois had something to do with that, certainly. But we got to get him back.
And when you talk about, as a player, having a feel for the game and also how the officiating is being called, like one of the things I try to do, like if I picked up an early one in the first minute, maybe I don't take as much of a risk.
Yes.
You know, defensively, so I don't get that second one. I look at Aaron Bradshaw. He got his first early, and then there was a shot to block, and I'm thinking, like, maybe you don't go after that one as aggressively.
Right.
Yeah. So how do you coach your players to, you know, not overthink it, but to understand that, you know, you pick up an early foul, not to get that second one relatively too soon?
Yeah. It's interesting, Ron. Like, I don't like when we foul because we're late or out of position. You know, like those to me, if you're out of position and you just kind of hack a guy because you're late, like don't do that. Don't do that, right? Get in position earlier, preferably. But at that point, like, there's no reason to foul. Like, if he gets you beat, just make him earn it.
Right.
You know, try to get back as best you can. Make him earn it. Don't bail out and give him an and one or give him a foul, because what we're seeing is, you know, this is now the second game in a row where the team is getting into the bonus or the threat of the bonus way too early. Mm-hmm. And we got to be smarter in those situations. Like, we're just – I don't have an issue with aggressive, guarding hard, physical, tough fouls. Like, I don't have an issue with those. It's the ones where we're just almost like a mental lapse that you know, whether we're late or whatever, those are the ones we got to clean up.
We'll talk more with Coach Diebler when we continue with our weekly show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield. Hey, Buckeye Nation, Paul Keels here for my other favorite nation, Window Nation. If you're a fan of scoring, you're going to love this. Window Nation is going nuts with an incredible offer just for you. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free plus 0 down and 0 payments with 0 interest for 2 years. And if you order a full house of windows, you'll be part of a full house at the Shoe with tickets to a Buckeye game. Call Window Nation today at 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com. Tell them Paul sent you for the Buckeyes Full House Special.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Union Home Mortgage knows Buckeye fans never leave Ohio State behind. We've helped millions of first-time home buyers get into their dream home through our 1% down payment program. Put as little as 1% down, and UHM tosses in up to 2% on the house. Learn more at UHM.com or call 877-846-4968. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, including all-wheel drive versions of the best-selling Corolla. Now through February 3rd, get low-rate financing on a Corolla or lease a gas-powered 25 Corolla LE for $229 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Giant Eagle is teaming up with Cheez-It, Pringles, and Coca-Cola to give one lucky Buckeye fan a VIP basketball experience. Go to ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Giant Eagle to enter for a chance to win 4 tickets with parking to the March 4th home finale against Nebraska, a Buckeye prize pack, a $200 Giant Eagle gift card, and a trip to the head coach's radio show. Enter today at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Giant Eagle for a chance to win. Brought to you by Giant Eagle, Cheez-It, Pringles, and Coca-Cola. Go Bucks!
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. You're listening to the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Your Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus, and supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/BuckeyesCare. And welcome back to our show with Coach Jake Diebler, and back to our Union Home Mortgage inbox of questions. And, Jake, this was not purposely done because we know how you feel about this, and we feel the same, but it comes from Gary in Springfield. There's nothing you can do about the schedule, but does playing Thursday, Sunday for the second consecutive week, as this week will be the case, help at all with having some of a routine?
It's really hard when I get scheduling questions, Paul.
I know.
And, thankfully I've been able to express some of my personal opinions on our schedule. And, I think there is value in a routine. And listen, the reality to the landscape now in Big Ten basketball is on every night of the week,
except Saturdays.
Well, there's usually one or two at least on Saturdays.
Not involving your team.
Well, not us. Yeah, and specifically not at home
yes.
apparently. But I think tonight is the first night in a while there's not a Big Ten game, but it's been literally Sunday through Saturday. There's a game on, and there's a lot of great aspects to that, right? It's great for our league. We're now all the way across the country. There's a lot of good that comes with that too. Certainly some challenges, but a lot of good. And, the exposure we get in this league is really, in my opinion, the best of any league in the country. So there's a lot of great that comes with it. That being said, there's some challenges that are presented with the choppiness you may see. Like we played 3 games in 7 days. We're not the only team to do that. So that's just there's a reality to that. And, it is nice to maybe have a little bit of a routine at times, but I don't know how much you can really settle into that because of just there's a randomness to things. And it's these guys all want to be pros. It's very much resembling more and more a pro schedule.
It's interesting. Paul and I have talked about this a number of times as well. Like back in the day when I played, it was typically Thursday, Saturday. And there's some cases where you played Thursday, Sunday if it was a nationally broadcast game. And it was consistent. You could prepare for it. You know where you're going to leave on Wednesday. Didn't have charters back then, so we left on Wednesday, didn't come back till Sunday night. But still, I think there's something to that from a scheduling standpoint. With football, they typically play every Saturday. Could they envision one day having some more consistency, or is it just a demand that they want these games on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays?
Well, I think the TV influence, is just it's too strong, and for the financial implications of that, deservedly so.
I understand.
Right. So, I don't know, though. I do think, this being the first year with the West Coast teams in the 18-team league, there was always going to be kind of there needs some ironing out from a scheduling standpoint. The league office will get that. They'll get that right quickly. And I'm not saying, listen, there's been a lot right this year. Yeah. Aside from, our home, lack of Saturday, Sunday home games, which we've talked about. But, I think, listen, I'd hate to be the guy that had to put the schedule together and work with all the different networks. But I'm also thankful that we get to be on CBS. We get to be in Primetime Fox and Big Ten Network and all those, Peacock and everything that we were a part of is good. Make no mistake about it. But the days, I think, of, having a set schedule and routine, I don't know that those exist or will ever exist again.
And is the biggest challenge from an applicable standpoint when you're practicing?
I think you have to be willing to adjust, your prep time for games. Sometimes you have 2-day prep. Sometimes it's 3. Sometimes, like we've had, really kind of light day, then a heavier day leading into game day with some of this, kind of crunched schedule. And that's why a lot of it, honestly, Paul, you trust the information, the sports science, the resources. That's why I've just fully leaned into that, because we have all those at our fingertips here at Ohio State. I think it's an advantage for us. And, you got to trust it, because you don't have to necessarily, like as a coach, got a lot you want to work on, right? Yep. You got a lot you want to work on, but you need to be really efficient with your time, and you need to prioritize what's most important, because you can't work on everything with some of these quick turnarounds.
And with the 1 p.m. start on Sunday, that forced you to have 2 practices in one day on Saturday and not have your typical pregame shoot-around during that day.
Yeah, I hadn't even looked that far ahead at the game time and all that, Ron, and I'm not surprised that they shorten that as quickly as they possibly could for us. But we'll be ready. We'll be ready. It's part of it. I think you can also, to some degree, make it a bigger deal than it has to be.
Right. True.
And so for us, we just take it one game at a time, focus on the task at hand, mindful of what's coming down the road, because I think you want to manage the kind of total low load on the bodies and things. But one game at a time, focused on just this next one, and then we'll figure out how to get ready for the one after that.
And thrilled to be at home, and you've talked about and you have showed your appreciation for the home support you've got.
Yeah, excited to be back home. We've had three out of 4 on the road. We've had some great moments at home where we've really felt our crowd impact us, and we're going to need that down the stretch here with these home games.
Thank you, Jake. We'll see you Thursday.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right,
Go Bucks.
that's Ohio State head coach Jake Diebler. Thanks for listening to today's show, presented by Roosters and brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, and by Credit Union of Ohio. Join us Thursday as Ohio State hosts Maryland. Our pregame coverage begins at 6:15 p.m. For Skip Massa, Colin Behringer, Ron Stokes, and Coach Jake Diebler, this is Paul Keels. Thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
quality lawn is easier and more affordable than you think with True Green. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. And right now, you can get 75% off your first service. Plus, they have a price match guarantee. You know you're getting the best value. And if you're not satisfied, True Green will revisit your lawn between scheduled visits to make it right. Don't wait. Visit TrueGreen.com today to lock in 75% off and let the pros handle your lawn while you enjoy the results.
Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
How'd you like to wipe out all that credit card debt to start the new year off right? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Stop getting fleeced by the credit card companies. If you own your home, go to AFLcash.com now. Advantage First Lending can help you unlock that equity and get you tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's AFLcash.com. You can pay off all your credit cards and other high-interest debt super fast. Consolidate all your bills into one low monthly payment. AFLcash.com can help you tap into your home's equity to give you some serious cash so you can go into 2025 with less stress and more confidence. Get the cash you need from Advantage First Lending now. Most homeowners don't even need an appraisal. How great is that? Get on solid financial footing. Go to AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. 844-394-CASH.
Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, EasyCater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at EasyCater.com.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply.